against Arsenal. I got Arsenal for a win. Good goal.
Good evening, everyone. Carl, back with the NFTV reaction, joined by Adam, Brandon, and the dressing gown hero, Liam. How are we?
Good. Better after that.
Definitely. As you can tell, smiling faces. We've all got a result tonight. Absolutely buzzing. I think it's safe to say we were a bit worried prior to the game. Everton had a chance to go back top. Haven't taken the chance. We've taken advantage and got a really good result today. So how's everyone feeling about it?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, especially from last week.
Definitely.
Big improvement.
Change, wasn't it?
I wouldn't say we played well, but compared to last week, we played fucking well. You know what I mean? Defensively, we were good.
Yeah. What about yourself, Liam?
I think we got lucky again. I think Bruce is just a lucky. He just gets lucky results. Like Everton was shocking. Like going forward, they were poor. But I think with defence we're good. Like, but I just feel like he's got another lucky penalty, and then that's set off. That's like once we got that pen when we're going forward, we had like intent to actually try and score. But yeah.
Yeah. How about yourself, Adam?
No, I disagree with Liam for a change. I thought we were worth the win. I see why the penalty was given, but I thought we were better than Everton today. I feel Everton's players missing. I said it a few times in the live chat with Richarlison missing, Rodriguez missing. It really hurt them. And I thought we capitalised on that. I thought Longstaff and Hendrick in the middle would outfought their middle. I thought Wilson up front was excellent, holding the ball up. And I thought Lascelles was excellent. So I thought we were well worth the win today. We made hard work of it the last 6 minutes. But that's Premier League football. It happens. But no, I do. It's been a tough few weeks watching Newcastle. When you play this formation, you have to have some incentive going forward. And Wolves and Man U, we didn't have that. Today we did. I felt we weren't great. I agree with Brandon and Liam. We weren't. That's not the standard we still expect. We still expect better, but it was better than what we've had.
Much better improvement from last week for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So starting the day with remembrance for Nobby Styles, who sadly passed away. So a bit of a somber moment prior to the game. But as you said, they were missing Richarlison, James Rodriguez, Lucas Digne was missing from the squad, and Seamus Coleman as well. So on the face of it, I was looking at that thinking, again, they are potentially there for the taking. But as we all know far too well, we've had that with Wolves and Man United, and we haven't taken advantage. Steve Bruce decided to go with exactly the same formation, with the exception of putting Sean Longstaff alongside Hendrick in midfield. And I think you briefly touched on it there, Adam, about how much it worked. What do you think the difference was today, Brandon, in comparison to Wolves last week?
Well, defensively for sure, and I don't know, we had some more creativity somehow. I don't know where it came from, but what really pissed me off is like the passing accuracy is like fucking shite. I think after the bottom 3 clubs, it's our worst passing accuracy, right? We cannot really pass a goal correctly. We're losing the ball way too often in like silly moments.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if you.
Well, you had a couple of moments, didn't you, Adam, when we were watching it? To be fair, a couple of issues with Darlow's distribution. Jamal Lewis has planted a few wayward passes.
First half, Jamal Lewis was giving it away. Darlow was, and we were just lacking that big final pass. Second half, we were much better. I'll watch it by later, but I don't remember us giving the ball away as cheaply second half. But I'm not going to be in a bad mood tonight. We beat them 2-1. I couldn't give a fuck. Great 3 point.
Definitely. Liam, what did you make of Carlo Ancelotti making the decision to drop Jordan Pickford today?
It was. I don't know if he's trying to look after him as a player, because obviously during the week the news came out that he's had to get a security team to look after him. So he was maybe thinking, well, he's got all that stuff on his mind, so he's gonna have a howler, and then people are gonna pick on him more in the press. So probably as a man manager, it was probably potentially the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't think Pickford would have done anything. I don't think Pickford would have saved them 2 goals.
Do you not?
Olsen did quite well, right?
Yeah, he did really well. I think he made that save off Maximin, and I think he made another really good save. So it was a decent replacement for Pickford.
That hand that Olsen got onto the ball from saint-maximin, I think Pickford couldn't reach it with his hands. that probably would have been the 1-0 for us. But so it was a good choice for Ancelotti to drop him, for sure.
I think that was probably one of the turning points, wasn't it, of us? Because the first 10 minutes were a bit drab. We seemed to be sitting back a little bit again. We thought, oh, here we go again. And then, you know, Pickford's absence. You've got Olsen in goal. I think should maybe go out and have a few chances at them. We've managed to stand firm from a corner and then broke away with Miggy and Wilson, who's slipped a brilliant ball into Maximin, which you thought he probably played too late at first, Adam, and then was like, actually, it was a fantastic pass.
Initially I thought he was just held under, but it was a great pass. I thought Wilson was my man of the match, which we'll go into. But first half it was a poor half for both teams. To be fair, sorry, I'm just watching the Man U game, but we had the best chance out the game, the half, and the game will go on to it. We need a bit more from ASM in that number 10, and I thought Ryan Fraser will deserve a start in that position, because the last 20 minutes he changed the game for me when he came on in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. Everton took, I think it was around 35 to 40 minutes before they even registered a shot on goal, which was a weak effort from Doucoure. And as we said, not much really went on in the first half other than that chance that we had from Maximin that arguably should have put away, really. So I know we were talking about if we could get a goal the way the game was going before going into half time, then it would stand us in really good stead to kind of kick on and push on and try and get a result out of the game. Didn't come. We've gone in. Pretty boring first half.
What was your feeling after first half? Did you say after first half, would you think like, okay, I take a 0-0, or did you think like we definitely can get something here the way they played or the lack of creativity they had?
I personally,
if you take James out and Richarlison, it's there's so much for.
Absolutely, mate. I 100% thought that Everton again were there for the taking, and we could potentially get something out of the game. But I wasn't as confident because of what had previously gone on with Wolves and Man United. And then seeing Maximin kind of hobbling off as well was a bit of a worry. He's come out for the second half. Do you think it was a good decision to keep him on, or do you think we should have substituted him at half time?
I think it was just a contact injury, wasn't it? It just seemed like a dead leg more than like pulling a muscle. I think it was just because when Gomez tackled him and I think he whacked him, didn't he, like in the top of his thigh. So I don't think there was any problem with Maximin coming back on. Like I think it was just hitty missy all game.
Yeah. Would you agree, Liam, that he's entirely ineffective in that 10 role?
Yeah. I think I said in the players' rating, it just seemed like he was running into players constantly. It was just like he could turn and just get hit with a brick wall. I think you want Maximum probably out on the wings because they're not always going to have the cover to have 2 men on. He's going to get that chance where he can get past that one man, which he can't do. And I think him in the middle is pointless. But then you've got to think if he goes to the left, then he's supporting Lewis, and he doesn't really. He's like a Ben Arthur. You don't want him to track back. You want him to be further up the field as possible, and sort of in that role as number 10, he doesn't have to track back.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree with that 100%. We come out second half. Everton looked to have a decent chance with Calvert-Lewin, but he hasn't connected with it very well. So got away with one there, and then 10 minutes later, Wilson's tripped by Gomez, penalties given, and dispatched. How was everyone feeling?
I think I missed it at the time, like live. I missed it. It's one of them ones. I feel a bit for Gomez because he hasn't intentionally brought Wilson down. He's gone to clear the ball from the corner, and Wilson, to be fair, watched Wilson's interview after the game, and he's looked at that and he said, "Look, I tried to get across him, and he has fouled him. It is a foul at the end of the day, so." Penalty, great, and he slots it away under a bit of pressure. Got a yellow card for it because Everton were trying to get in his head a bit. But if there's anyone you want 12 yards out for us, it's Callum Wilson. And he's looking like an absolutely fucking great centre forward for us.
Definitely. What did you make of the yellow card? Because obviously he's just, all he's done really is just shoved the ball into, was it Yerry Mina's stomach?
Yeah, I think so. You need to cut
it's a
that out
yellow.
of his game.
Sorry, Liam, go on.
He needs to cut out of his game because it could escalate and then could become a red. Do you know what I mean? Obviously the lad's trying to get in his head, so he misses the penalty. But it's just pettiness. We didn't need pettiness in the team. Do you know what I mean? We just want just let him crack on. If he's trying to speak to you, just try and ignore him or walk away from him. Don't stop the ball off his stomach.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the penalty, like the reason for the penalty. I went to make a drink and I came back and then everyone was just looking at the goalkeeper. I was like, oh wait. But I don't think it was the greatest of penalties, mind. I think if the keeper went the right way, it was getting saved.
I was going to say that myself. I thought because he's put it down the middle, but it was quite timely put down the middle, wasn't it? So I didn't think it was a great penalty either, but it's gone in at the end of the day.
You're being harsh now. Fucking hell.
I think he had a terrible game. Wilson, may as well not being on the pitch. Invisible.
Who got voted man of the match in scoring the place, by the way?
Wilson got 9 out of 10 and he was the highest rated player. So you should assume him.
How did you guys rate Federico Fernandez? For me, he was the man of the match.
7, I think it was, off the top of my head. I think it was just because the defence didn't really have to do much, so they weren't really tested.
You think he was better than Lascelles, Brandon? I thought Lascelles was standout today.
They were all right, but I think the leader in the defence is Federico, in my opinion. Or even though Jamal is captain, I think he's like that silent power in the defence.
I thought Lascelles was a better defender today than I agree with you. I rate Fernandez, but I thought Lascelles was excellent today. I criticise him when he's shite, and I thought he did well with Calvert-Lewin today.
Aye.
I would say he's good against them type of players that want to grapple and try and get the head and the cross. I think if he plays against players that are good with the feet, he's terrible. But I would say that he's one of his best games he's had in a long time.
Yeah, great.
I think he got knocked down in the scoring because obviously I think it was it his fault for the goal? Do you know what I mean? I think someone said it was, so he got knocked down slightly in the scoring.
I thought it was him and Fernandez who had fault for the goal. Yeah.
Liam, did you get to score Jamal Lewis?
Yeah, I give him a 7, I think.
Oh, okay, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think he was a lot better second half than he was first half. I think the first half he was scared to pass the ball forward, but then he came out and had a decent game. Obviously, he passed the ball to Fraser for the goal, didn't he? So
there shouldn't have been anyone lower than a 7 today. I'd be surprised if anyone was lower than a 7.
Maximum got a 6.5.
Who's on these 0.5s now?
And they said that was generous. I was going to give him a 6, and I was like, oh no, I'll give him a 6.5. But he was just maximum was taking missy again.
But I have to say, Almiron as well. Attacking wise, he's not bringing much anymore. Defensively, he's doing his work for more than I expected, and you should think of him. But attacking wise, I don't know. Last couple of days, it's not really the old Almiron. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. He put a shift in today, and defensively, I agree, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
He's not that dangerous anymore. Maybe it's also the style we play.
That comes down to manager. That where the manager's playing.
Definitely. I mean, after that after Wilson's obviously scored the penalty, 1-0 up. 2 minutes later, it could have been 2-0. Longstaff's in the box. Olsen's pulled off a good save. Again, good build-up play. What did you think of Longstaff's performance today? Anyone?
Whoever go.
It was his best game in a while. Well, it was like the old Sean was back from like when he first broke into the team. So yeah, hopefully, like I think the lads are saying, he needs a run of games. He's not one of these players that you can put in and then take out and then expect him to have a good game in like 2 weeks' time. Do you know what I mean? He needs like a solid run of games. But I think it was a very good all round performance from Sean was very good.
He's got a headache now, Bruce, because that position, what he's playing, he's got Sean Longstaff, Jeff Hendrick, Isaac Hayden. You know, we
John
spoke, Carl. Isaac Hayden shouldn't be. John Joe as well when he's fit. Isaac Hayden shouldn't be on the bench. And I agree with Liam. I like Sean Longstaff when he's got a good run of games. That's when we've seen the best of him a few years ago when Man U wanted him for 50 million when he was playing 15 to 20 games and he was consistent. He was springing balls all out, and that was what he was doing today. So who misses out? You know, Hendrick's doing nothing wrong. I know he gets a lot of stick. He's doing nothing wrong, really, Hendrick. So it's going to be that's where Bruce is going to have to make some big decisions in centre midfield.
Plus, we have Maddie as well, banging on the door.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down. It's going to be a struggle because we've got so many midfielders that put in a lot of work rate. I think it's safe to say John Joe would be the laziest out of all of them, but also offers the most creativity. So it's a catch-22, isn't it? I mean, who would you prefer?
I personally think a better team without Shelby. I do. I think we're a better team overall.
Depends what team we're playing.
Well, I think if I have to choose my midfield, I would always go with John Joe, Isaac, and Jeff, probably. And then I would like to bring in Sean or Maddie.
Yeah.
See how the game is going. Decide on whether you bring them.
Yeah. With us being 1-0 up, the game started to open up a little bit more because obviously Everton are trying to go and push for the equaliser. Calvert-Lewin's met a header from Sigurdsson's free kick, and Darlow's quick to it. It was pretty much down his throat, to be fair, but he still kept his hands very safe to the ball. And I think Michael Keane had a chance that he just headed over as well. So they're obviously pushing.
Yeah. There's not many chances you can think Everton had by the goal. You know, that's a good thing for us. So
no, definitely, 100%. And I was just going to say, other than that, there wasn't much for us to kind of worry about at all. But we continue to push on. And then I think we were crying out for a few substitutions, weren't we? Maybe they could have been made a little bit earlier. But in the end, it's worked out completely well. I think Fraser come on in, was it the 84th minute?
No, it was earlier than that.
No, earlier.
I was
saying 75, right?
Fraser came on first.
Completely, completely forgot what time to come on. Obviously, he's assisted for the goal, and Callum Wilson has put us 2-0 up. Absolutely fantastic. We're all going mad. Looks to have the game sealed. How do you think Fraser slotted into that 10 role instead of ASM?
A lot better.
Yeah. Would you like to see him there more often going forward?
You don't know if it was just because Everton were chasing the game and they were playing all the players forward, so it'd be interesting to see what he'd be like as a bulk, like as a starter, not coming off the bench. But it'd be an interesting. So, who would you drop, Maxi to the bench, or would you just move Maxi to the wings?
I would personally put Maxi on the wings. I think he needs to be driving at the fullback.
I don't think in the formation we play, and Liam touched on it before, if we're going to play the formation we're playing, I don't think you can play Maximin and Lewis together. Lewis needs help, and that's why he's got Almiron around him. Maximum needs to pull his finger out, to be fair. If he's going to play in that number 10, he needs to play better. It's all Liam's right. You know, the Ben Arthur type role where you don't have to defend, it doesn't really exist anymore. If you're on that pitch, you have to defend, and I don't know. I just don't think that number 10 is going to work. And I'd bring Fraser in next week. and if that means Maximum sits on the bench, then is it Southampton away, which is a tough fucking game? I'd possibly risk it, like, and bring him on.
But isn't it saying enough about Jamal Lewis if you need to saint-maximin to fill him in on over there? Like with Murphy, I don't really have that feeling. Somehow, he's doing great,
Yeah,
and
good
defensively, I don't feel so sure about Lewis, and attacking wise, not sure what he's on about.
Who was right wing?
Lewis, like right wing back.
No, like right. Who was on? Was it three in the middle? Like, did it go 4-2-3-1?
It's three in the middle, and like Lewis was overlapping, and Lewis and Murphy were overlapping.
Yeah,
How
like,
do you,
I
how
think
do you rate Murphy's performance again this week?
I would score him an 8.
steady. It was a steady performance. He was good defensively, but I think one of the lads said in the score on the players, it's not the overall solution to that problem, to that position. Sorry. It'll be interesting to see what Murphy's favour like up the field, where you can just be more focused on attacking instead of focused on defending.
Yeah. What do you think we did well this week to kind of nullify Calvert-Lewin?
I think we the two centre halves were they didn't really let him turn. I don't remember many times Calvert-Lewin was able to turn and have his body to goal. I thought Lascelles was excellent. I know what Brandon says. Fernandez is a great player, but I thought Lascelles marked him excellently today. He got the goal, which was sloppy from us, considering the time of the game it was. It made our fucking last 6 minutes a lot longer than it should have been. From the goal, I can remember the cross was too easy from Lewis's side, and there was just no one marking him in the middle. It took a little deflection, but Fernandez or Lascelles, I can't remember off the top of my head, should have been a lot closer to him. It's a controversial one, but I think Callum Wilson should be in the England team ahead of Lewin. I really do. And maybe that's obviously it's because I'm a Newcastle fan, but I do.
That is an interesting thing because we are going to be biased as Newcastle fans anyway. But because that was Calvert-Lewin's 12th goal this season. What does Callum Wilson offer that Lewin doesn't for you, Adam, for the England setup?
I think he's more of a team player. Calvert-Lewin's a great player, don't get me wrong. I just think if you're looking at it for England, I just think Callum Wilson offers more to the team. I think Calvert-Lewin's a bit out for himself a bit more. Wilson offers more for the team. Calvert-Lewin's just out for himself. He's a great player, credit to him. He's coming on leaps and bounds, but I don't know. I don't think Wilson's going to get a look in now. He's playing for Newcastle. That's how I feel. The same old shit, like Newcastle players never get a look in. So
Never.
It's a shame because how Hayden hasn't got a call up is beyond me with some of the crap that they take. Interestingly, that's the first time Ancelotti's lost consecutive league matches since September 2014. Do you think Everton are going to be the full package that we've expected from what they've given over the last 6 weeks? Liam, do you think they're going to continue what they've done, or do you think they're going to struggle with these back-to-back defeats that they've had?
No, I think they'll be there at the end of the season. I think they'll break. I think they'll be maybe even pushing Champions League football. I think they've got the manager, they've got the striker that's on fire, they've got the dodgy goalkeeper. But then I think like every position, I think if you look at Everton's team, they're quite strong, like they're quite good players. But I think sometimes you just get unlucky, don't you? In a fixture run, you could play the best game, the world's best game the week before, and then you come this week and you're just off the pace. And I think they were just off the pace. They just lacked creativity. Without Rodriguez in the middle, I think they didn't really create much. And I don't think much of Gylfi Sigurdsson at the moment. Like I think he just seems like he's just there, not doing much.
I think, to be fair, mate, if you speak to most Everton fans, I think they've said it's been that while even last season. Been that way for a while. he's nowhere near the player he was when they first signed him and before they signed him. Definitely. Because I agree, he just looks a bit of a passenger.
I know we're not here to talk about Everton, and we'll get back in the Newcastle. But I agree with what Liam said about the Ancelotti and like today. Like obviously, we put someone on Facebook like taking the Mickey out of Pickford. I know it's not personal against him. We Nigel Malcolm. It's all banter with his little arms and that. But we got over 1,000 likes on like a picture of him taking the piss. And if he dropped a bollock tonight again against Newcastle, it would have been all over social media, and he would have known about it, and his confidence would have went absolutely as low as it could. So I think Ancelotti's done him a favour today, taking him out of the firing line. It's a shame for us, like, because it would have been funny, but it's a good move from Ancelotti.
There as well.
I think with the Pickford thing, he's a very emotional player when he plays. Like if you look when we drew 2-2 last season, it was against us, but you could say he was at fault for some of the goals. And then when we came from 2-0 down to beat them 3-2, like he was winding the fans up, and then obviously conceded 3 goals. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just a very emotional player. I think if he wants to kick on, he's gonna have to cut it out of his game. Because I don't see him as England's number 1. I'm not saying that just because he's a Magnum, but sometimes he's just a massive liability. Imagine him in a World Cup final. Do you know what I mean? It would seem like you would just be nervous as soon as the other team got the ball.
100%. Well, we've come out with a massive win. It's taken us 10th. I think we're sitting 10th at the moment.
10th at this moment. Maybe not anymore after Manchester United Arsenal game, but we'll see.
Yeah,
still no.
Definitely. So we're quick to jump on Bruce's back. Me more than anyone, I think. To be fair, but credit where credit's due. Adam, what did he get right tonight?
Has someone got the? Is someone watching the match? It's like fuck on my phone. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, it was just my phone. That's all. The formation's a controversial one, but if you play like that and you're a bit like we played today, I get that. Against Wolves and against Man U, I didn't get it. I still think we can be better. I still think we're too defensive. But his biggest thing today is change. Substitutions. Again, I criticise him. I thought taking Maximum off for Fraser was a great change at the time. And I thought Fraser, he set the second goal up, and I thought he looked a lot sharper. So yeah, it's a good win. It's a good win. But I just like us to be a bit more, have a bit more going forward. Still, that's what I'd like a bit more. When we're getting the ball in the final third, we still look a bit more dangerous. As Liam said, it's the penalty. If we hadn't gotten the penalty, would we have went to win that game? I don't know, but credit to him.
It looks like Steve is always playing for a draw somehow, against like bigger teams or higher ranked teams at the table. He's always hoping for a 0-0 or squeaky 1-1. He's playing for a draw basically, not to lose. That's because he knows if he takes a point, he lives another day.
As a fan, for me personally, I'm pretty sure we'll stay in the league with him in charge. I don't think we'll get relegated. But I want a bit more. I want to progress as a team, and that's why I think they'll fail long term.
I think we all do, right?
Definitely. Another tough matchup on Friday, 8 o'clock on Sky Sports against Southampton. Early predictions. How do you think we'll get on if we play like we did today? Liam?
I think we'll draw. I think it'll be a score like 2-2 because obviously Danny Ings is on fire, isn't he?
Did he go off injured today?
I don't know. I didn't watch the match.
Sure, he went off injured today, like so.
Yeah, he actually is. He might be injured because he was orange on fantasy football. So if he's injured, then I could see we're winning really. But I think if we continue to perform, like if we continue to get better, then I think we could turn anybody over if we play the right. Because if you think about it, the front three they're scary to play against because they've got so much pace. But then it depends whether Bruce actually unleashes the pace on the other team.
Yeah. What about yourself, Brandon?
I will go with Liam as well for a draw. Yeah, but if Danny is injured, yeah, we might get a win, but I don't really see it happening. I hope for a draw. Stay positive.
And yourself, Adam?
Yeah, I agree with that. The Jekyll and Hyde team, Southampton, they're either going to be great or I watched them for 60 minutes a day. They were on fire. Set pieces, really dangerous set pieces, Southampton. So obviously we need to get that sorted. Need that free kicks. I think Ward-Prowse scored absolutely 2 worldies today. Danny Ings is a big player for them, as Liam and Brandon said. If Danny Ings is missing, it just gives you that bit hope that you can go and get something. I think our big call next week is does saint-maximin start. That's for me. That's a big call next week.
Yeah.
But if Fraser keeps playing like he did today, we can maybe lose saint-maximin for a week.
I just don't think the shape suits saint-maximin. If he wants to play that formation, fine. I just don't think it suits saint-maximin playing number 10.
Do you think this is is it the 4-2-3-1 that Sam talks about us playing?
I think he'll stick to this formation now. I don't know, Liam. Liam, what do you think we should be playing?
I think we just need to adapt it to whatever team we play against. But you can't really go wrong if you've won this week. Would you not then play the same formation next week, but maybe just swap a couple of players in and out? But then you've got to look at him. Murphy's not really a wing back. He's more of a winger. But then we do look more solid when we have got 3 centre halves, because if one makes a mistake, there's two to cover the back, and we are quite prone to make mistakes at the back. But we just seem like a dog that's all bark and no bite, really. Like how many penalties now we've got this season that's got what we're trouble.
Obviously, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think we had any last year, so.
But then does that not prove that we are getting more players in the box if we're getting more pens? So I think it's just I don't think Bruce knows his best team or best formation yet, which is slightly worrying.
I was about to ask you, isn't that worrying?
But positivity, we got the result. Callum Wilson's got 6 goals in 7 games. The last striker to do that was Les Ferdinand, 6 in 6. So hopefully we can kick on and he can continue to play in that vein. It's been your boy Carl from Newcastle Fans TV. Adam, Brandon, Liam, thank you for all joining in. We'll see you Friday, hopefully to get another result, because we're buzzing about tonight. And, like I said, credit where credit's due. Brucey's got the job done tonight. So let's all enjoy it. Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, all that. And we'll see you Friday.
See you later.
Thanks, lad.
Cheers.